Ladies and gentlemen, finally, it's time. Sony, up next.
I've seen things people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're talking Sony 2024's TV lineup. I was beyond honored to be included at their global launch event just a month or so ago in LA. I can finally share with you not only the TV lineup, which everyone will be sharing today, but give you my personal thoughts on the entire lineup. I've been dying to get this information to you guys. I will also follow up in a few days describing the entire event, what we saw, how amazing an event it was. But more importantly, today we'll be discussing the 2024 TV lineup from Sony. Thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, let's do it. Bravia 9, the one true flagship 4K mini LED XR backlight master drive. This TV is absolutely amazing. It's been known as the prototype since we saw it at CES, since we saw its local dimming in action, which is based on the same architecture as their new reference monitor HX3110. Being able to see real material, real films with both the Bravia 9 and the HX3110 in action was amazing. You can see what the display is really capable of in terms of why 4,000 nits is needed and why the local dimming on the Bravia 9 is next level. I'm also happy to report that the Bravia 9 comes in 3 sizes, 65, 75, and 85, where last year's excellent X95 flagship only came in the 85-inch size. Checking out the build quality, we have a new stand, 4 positions. You have the outside, the inside, both can be elevated to accommodate a soundbar. We have also 3 new sound options this year. We have the Bravia Theater Quad, the Theater Bar 9, and the Theater Bar 8. We'll review those down the road. They all sounded amazing, by the way. Now we do have the true XR backlight master drive. This is considered the true successor to the legendary Z9D. Checking out more bright room performance, absolutely stunning. And again, seeing this in demo material is one thing. We had hands-on to be able to see it with several films paired with, again, the sound bars. But being able to see 4,000 nits, true 4,000 nit content was amazing. Also seeing the HX3110 right beside it, seeing the Bravia 9 mirror its local dimming was amazing. I'll show you a clip of that in a moment. Checking it out in a dark room. We've waited a very long time to be able to bring you this footage. The global launch was an incredible event that I was honored to attend. Definitely life-changing for me as a creator, but it was hard to not share everything that we saw. Now the amazing XR processor is back, and from what I understand, they have not even been able to scratch the surface of its capabilities, and you'll be able to see it stretch its legs more with these new panels. Now we don't have an 8K display this year. In reality, there really is no need for it. What I love about what we're seeing this year is that you do have one true flagship. You are having that 8K peak brightness that was always reserved for the highest end Sonys, now at the 4K flagship, except now that the Bravia 9 has capabilities in terms of peak brightness that blow away any of the 8K models before it, but you do have a new refined local dimming, again based on the HX3110. So you're seeing the highest performing 4K mini LED ever from Sony with a peak brightness that also beats any of the 8K models that have come before it. To have that all at one flagship is amazing. Again, mini LED, the reference monitor also created by Sony, means the content is already there out in the wild. We were able again to see 4,000 nit movies, and you could feel and see the HDR impact. Absolutely amazing. You'll also be able to see the local dimming in action in a moment. I will show you, without showing the competitor, how the local dimming and how intricate it is, how it literally crawls all over everything. Giving Mini LED a micro contrast that only OLEDs can really experience. This will take you as close as possible. As you can see, the local dimming is crawling over the image. The competitor, it's just a blob of light. That is the Bravia 9 1 4K flagship Mini LED backlight master drive, the true successor to the legendary Z9D. Up next, we have an OLED. We have the Bravia 8, which is the successor to last year's very successful A80L. We have 3 sizes available: 55, 65, and 77 inches. No 83-inch this year. Now, why is there no 83-inch? I asked. They didn't disclose what the reasoning was, but I can tell you chances are it's because last year's 83-inch A80L, which I have, has the A90J chassis, a heatsink. It is a different TV altogether, and that TV is still being sold. So there, in my own estimation, it would be redundant to have another 83-inch. The differences you're seeing here is a more efficient panel, a new panel capable of 10% higher peak brightness than last year. You also have a new design, 4-way stand. The design is different though. Instead of having the thin top and the very thick bottom, you do have one thickness all the way down. While it's not as thin as a regular OLED, it does look more premium. It has a more muscular stance. And it is an OLED, micro contrast XR clear. I should mention that the top TVs of this tier also have the acoustic surface audio and the acoustic center sync 3D surround upscaling. All 3 top models, the 9, the 8, and the 7, have this. As gorgeous as the mini LEDs are, when you walk in and you see an OLED, you see an OLED. Again, we have a new panel. It is WRGB. The A95L Master Series will carry over. Again, 3 sizes, 55, 65, 77. What made the A80L special, what makes the Bravia 8 special, is the Bravia 8 will be a bit brighter, as I mentioned, probably putting it in line with the 83-inch A80L, which also has the heatsink. But being the only WRGB OLED basically on the planet that has XR clear, it does make a difference. It made the A80L better than every other WRGB OLED last year, as the processor did beat everything out there. Moving on to the Bravia 7. Now, this is a TV I definitely think is going to be overlooked. The Bravia 9 is the one true flagship. The Bravia 8 is the OLED. The Bravia 7 to me is going to be the sweet spot. 55 inches, 65 inches, 75 inches, 85 inches. Again, mini LED XR backlight master drive. This TV is absolutely gorgeous. We saw demo material against a competitor where there was no depth to the image from the competitor. The depth and detail you saw on the Bravia 7 was amazing. Excellent build quality. Again, 4-way stand. We will check it in a bright and dark room. Local dimming, again, off the charts. On the Bravia 9, you do have an X-wide viewing angle and the anti-reflective screen. You do not have that here on the Bravia 7, which I like actually, not having that. Flexibility of image, as I mentioned in all my videos, super important. These TVs look gorgeous in a dark room, bright room, dimly lit, off angle. But again, Sony known for that processing. Now there is one mode added to all three of the premium TVs, the 9, the 8, and the 7, is a Prime Video calibrated mode. Everyone thinks it's like the Netflix calibration mode, but it's not a preset. It actually chooses, or based on the genre of what you're watching, sports, movies, it will choose what preset to be in, and that'll be a calibrated mode. On the fly, if it's watching sports, it will turn into sports. Pretty amazing when they demoed it for us. These TVs are absolutely gorgeous. Now, while you may think this is the successor to the X93, that's the position it has in the lineup. But from what we're hearing, we're expecting X95L effectiveness, picture quality, and beyond. So the Bravia 9 will definitely be a step over the X95 and even Z9K in terms of performance by brute force and elegance. But then you have the Bravia 7, which will outperform last year's X95. For me, think even better local dimming, most likely brighter. Now, Sony never discloses its zone count, but the zones are much higher on the Bravia 9, and I imagine they're higher on the Bravia 7. Now the X90L is carrying over. Again, it had XR clear, full array local dimming. Now we have 2 mini LEDs. Expect the gaming and interface to be similar to the Sony A95L with your gaming presets. You'll see that on all 3 premium models. Though I wasn't able to game on it, I imagine from what I see in the specs, they have the gaming presets. Expect the UI to look just like the Sony A95L, which is also carrying over. Now the surprise for me is actually the Bravia 3. And I'm actually looking forward to reviewing this caliber of TV. Typically in my reviewing Sony displays, I start at the X90 level. Where the Bravia 3 is still using an XR1 processor, it's direct LED, Tri-Luminous Pro. It has 1 stand position. I actually like the aggressive stance that it has. But the picture quality was very impressive. Again, dark room, bright room, off angle for direct LED. This is actually the successor to the X80. Those lineups you see in the store, the massive TVs. It has several different sizes, 6 in fact, 43, 50, 55, 65, 75, and 85. Single position stand. I will definitely get one of these in for review. Very popular tier. But again, changing the names, Bravia 9, 8, 7, and the 3. This will be another one which I think will be a big seller. And even the XR1 processor was a great processor. Now it'll lack XR clear, still very good processing. It's a 60 Hertz panel. Quick look at the remote. The remotes also can be charged. But very impressive image. The reflection you're seeing is the actual windows to my left and actually the Bravia 9 behind me. We had some other guys filming with us, so some of their lights are hitting the screen. But excited to also bring you reviews of this caliber of TV. Typically, it's a very popular tier, as I've mentioned. So as we're moving through the lineup, what are your thoughts on the lineup? What were your expectations? The direction of Sony going mini LED, again, is not by accident. The reference monitor that they actually manufacture that is out in the wild, the HX3110. They've built it, they created it, they know that the content is coming. So 4,000 nits for the Bravia 9. Having the amazing A95L, which was only released last October. Having a new 8, Bravia 8, the successor to last year's very good A80L. What are your thoughts on the lineup? If you have specific questions for Sony's very own Rob Brennan will be on in a few days to discuss this entire lineup in detail. So put what questions you have for Rob and I will copy them and we will answer them. But I'm very impressed with the lineup. I'm a mini LED fan at heart, especially the legendary Z9D. I also love the Z series, the 8K lineups, but always wish that performance would be on the 4K panels. Also for me, having the Bravia 9 have several different sizes is of the utmost importance. Last year's X93, as much as I love that TV not having XR clear, put it in a weird spot. Now having the Bravia 7, same processor, excellent capabilities right underneath the Bravia 9 and the Bravia 8. Really plays into Sony's ecosystem. Having the A95L QD OLED move over, as well as the X90L. I'd love personally to see all new lineups altogether, but I understand why they would carry them over. I'm hoping for a 98-inch or 100-inch Bravia 9. Seeing every display here with real movie material was also amazing, seeing how they really performed outside of demo material. So in closing, guys, what are your thoughts on the lineup? As we take a last look at the Bravia 9, what are your thoughts on the prototype, what we call the prototype for months? To me, seeing it in real material, real movies made the biggest difference in my opinions of it. Its peak brightness being necessary, its local dimming being next level. Super impressed with it. Now when these show up in store, I will do reviews on each size as well as compare it to the best TVs in the world, as well as last year's X95L and the Z9K. I think you'll be very impressed with the results. Now with the Bravia 8, you'll see that go against the leading OLEDs and QD OLEDs and see if it can hold its own. Again, I will do reviews on all the sizes, the 55, 65, and 77. I like the new design. I don't miss the 83-inch simply because I know the 83-inch A80L from last year was good enough, and I think that's why it's carrying over. As we move over to the Bravia 7, again, I think this will be the big seller, the sweet spot for many of you. Again, having a 55, 65, 75, and 85. What I saw this TV do to its competitor, I wish I could show you on camera. Now towards the end of the video, director's intent is no longer Sony's moniker. It is cinema to home, and that's exactly what this event was all about, which we'll discuss in detail in our next video. But everything they've done in their processing and in their TVs is all about bringing cinema home, which is why we were at Sony Pictures for this event. The Bravia 3, I think, is a great way to finish off this video. I'm excited to bring reviews to you from all of them. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Brian at Brian's Tech Therapy. Please consider liking and subscribing. Love you guys. Take care.